What up, y'all? We back with the Black Nashville Assembly Podcast. We ain't been around for a while, but we back, though. New setup, new digs, all that, yo. So welcome to the Black Nashville Assembly Podcast. We got some stuff we're going to land today. We got a little bit of a conversation that we're going to have, but also I think we're going to get started. So what we calling this, Mike?
That's true. We got to change the name. We got to take a vote.
Let's vote.
Let's take a vote. Okay, we got 3 names. We got greens and cornbread.
Okay.
Delicious.
You know, and that's inspired by New Year's tradition, you know.
Green for the money, gold
cornbread for the gold.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Then we got the Fish Fry Podcast.
Okay.
I'm saying we bringing black folks together,
Yes.
right? You know the Fish Fry.
Tennessee, home of the largest catfish fry in the world.
Shout out to Paris,
it's the
Tennessee.
world's biggest fish fry.
You know what I'm
Paris,
saying?
Tennessee.
Come
Paris,
on.
Tennessee.
So we got
Okay.
that.
And we got
Y'all persuaded me.
the Nashville Classic.
Come on.
What is it, bro?
Fish and spaghetti.
Ooh, wee.
It's good.
It don't really make sense to nobody else but us.
It's
And
good
nobody
to
can
me.
figure out the origin of where this came from.
We have that at my family reunion in Paris, Tennessee. So
Okay, so maybe it's a Tennessee thing.
It
Yeah,
might be a
it
Black
might be.
Tennessee thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
it might
My
be
mama
that.
do it all the time. She fry that
Okay.
fish. She got spaghetti on the side. I don't know.
Yes.
Man.
You got to pick one.
can we do top? Like, can we
Start
do them
bench
in
cut.
order?
Start bench cut the
Okay,
names.
got you. I'm really for me. Fish and spaghetti is my top one, and the reason why is because of the colors. Like red is bright. I'm allergic to fish, but I really honor folks who can't eat it, and I celebrate with them. And it just feels like something that you can have in the summertime. It feels vibrant. You can also throw it, put it together in February. So I'm appreciating that about it.
Why February?
I don't know. I'm just like, because it's cold, it's
Okay,
cold.
all
And
right.
it's like, dang, it's kind of cloudy outside, but I want something that feels vibrant. So I'm thinking about that.
So
and
you
then
starting?
Yeah, fish and spaghetti.
Okay.
What you benching?
I'm going to bench cornbread and greens.
Okay.
Is it greens and cornbread
Greens
or
and
cornbread?
cornbread.
Greens and cornbread
Okay,
sound better.
so that's, greens and cornbread. I do like I'm gonna eat some greens and cornbread as a vegetarian, so that's always gonna
Okay,
work for me.
it
so
is a
that's
healthier
yeah,
option.
that's why I gotta go with it. And then I gotta cut fish fry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Disrespect, but all right.
fish fries. I'm allergic to
Yeah,
fish.
Erica can't eat that. If it's just a fish fry, Erica like eat.
If it's vegan
That's
fish
fair.
fry,
What is vegan fish, bro? Let's do this. What is vegan
Artichoke.
fish?
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It's fried artichoke.
There is
It's
no
not
such thing as vegan fish.
fry. It's fried artichoke. Let me go next. I think mine is mine is identical to Erica.
For real?
You can't give. I'm sorry. If my mama say she frying fish, I know she gonna have spaghetti there.
yeah.
We ain't even gotta have no conversation. I know it's gonna be spaghetti. There might be coleslaw,
Oh yes.
and then there might be cornbread. And I don't know where this meal came from,
Right.
but it's the same everywhere.
That's real.
Somebody might throw some okra on there, but it's gonna be
It's gonna be
fish
good.
and spaghetti.
Okay.
And you can play spades afterwards.
You could do that with anything.
Well,
if you
I
get
think fish and spaghetti sets the foundation a little bit.
it's a little bit friendlier.
Yeah.
I will say that. When you pull out this fish and spaghetti, they not arguing. They also not slamming cards. And
Oh, yes,
they
okay.
not doing all
No,
that.
that's
Yeah.
gonna they gonna feel super good.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
finna do that, all of that.
No, that's gonna be like round 2. But the
Okay,
first is
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
like we just had good food.
Yeah, okay.
We prayed
chilling.
before it.
Yeah, nah.
we feeling real good
We had a
together.
good conversation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go start. I'm gonna switch it up just to be experimental. I'm gonna start the fish fry.
Okay.
Just because it's communal.
It
You
is.
know what I'm saying?
That's
the
fair.
fish fries, that's everybody there. You know what I mean? And then let's see, especially if we drop the pot on Fridays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then we can do. I'm a bench fish and spaghetti because it's too classic. I wish I could start 2 of them, and then I'm gonna get rid of greens and cornbread mainly because more of the tradition I'm familiar with is black eyed peas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the greens and cornbread sound better.
It does sound good.
Maybe we put it online and let people vote.
Yeah, we would have to honor the democratic decision though.
Aren't you the participatory democracy person? Don't you honor all democratic
The
decisions?
other thing I'm thinking about though is
She's like, I'm the one that got to talk. Why?
the people most impacted should be the ones driving that decision.
Look how that language goes out.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I feel like, what can I cook?
I mean, it can be fried okra
What
and
can I
spaghetti.
participate in?
Okay.
I can make spaghetti. I can cook spaghetti.
All right, we'll come back to it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to try and figure it out during the podcast.
Okay.
All right. But, yeah, welcome back, man. We'll figure out what the name of the podcast is at least by season, 3, episode 2?
Yeah, for sure. This is season 3. That's wild. Man.
Cool. So by season 3, episode 2, we'll have the name of the podcast. But we're going to get into what's been going on.
Yeah, so what they been on? So what y'all been following? What y'all been looking at?
So of course the devastating impact of the hurricane.
No, for sure.
This shows that we are living right now in the climate crisis. And I'm just really holding folks in East Tennessee and in North Carolina in my heart, folks who have been like devastated by it. Whole towns are gone. And so encourage folks to look into donating or sending love to folks who have been impacted by it. And then also organizing to stop this climate crisis, right? Like big businesses, corporations, especially oil companies, and the way that they showing up and impacting the globe. Like we got to fight against that. All the things are connected.
Yeah, and it's a reason we call it Mother Earth. It's a living organism. Don't piss it off.
Yeah, no, for real.
Please don't piss it off.
And speaking of that, y'all seen the that biolab explosion?
Oh, in Atlanta?
Wasn't it? It's in Georgia.
Georgia?
I know, but they can smell. I heard they can smell the smoke in Atlanta.
Is this the clips with the real wild looking smoke?
Yeah.
But that smoke, I thought it was fake.
Yeah.
I'm like, that smoke looked crazy,
bro. I thought it was AI too when I first seen it because it was.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
It was like colored. It was like colored, mixed color smoke. Like it was pink smoke in the air. And it was like it was a biolab. Something happened. Something blew up. They put all this smoke in the air, and they've been testing the air to check the air quality to see like how toxic it is for people to be breathing it in. It's wild.
So we should wear a mask. I mean, we should have been wearing masks, but
I guess, yeah. I don't know the science of that situation, but I don't know, man. That was just wild.
No, that sounds wild. I'm gonna tell you what I've been on. Now this gonna be kind of wild, but we had an episode before where we talked about the Titan Stadium and we kind of dived deep into it. So if you drive past downtown, you will notice that they building the Titan Stadium in the parking lot of the current Titan Stadium, and they suck. Excuse me, all my Titans fans, but they
Didn't they win Monday?
Yeah, but they are terrible.
Is this their first win?
Yes, they first win, but they are terrible. When I say they are terrible, they are terrible.
We in a toxic relationship with the Titans.
They're so bad.
I gave up on them. I'm out of that relationship.
No, gotta
Take me out the cycle.
Please do. They're so bad. Malik Willis, who we sent AJ Brown away for. So we traded AJ Brown to get a high draft pick. Got Malik Willis, right? He looked terrible with us. He went and started at Green Bay and destroyed us. Look like the greatest quarterback ever.
It's crazy.
No, I'm over the Titans. Shout out to UT Vols. Who, are ranked number 4. That's also some good news.
We're not doing that.
But I was saying all that to say, I think it's interesting. I think all of that is interesting with us giving, as everyday people, giving so much money to the Titans.
Being forced to.
Right. They about to build a stadium with the most public dollars that have ever been spent on the stadium.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're not good. Second of all, downtown traffic is terrible because there's no parking lot no more because they build it on top of the big parking lot. And so they're gonna build a new stadium and destroy the old one while the new one's up. Like, think about it. If you take a lot, split it down the middle, build one house next to an old house, and then destroy the old house after the new house is built. What's most likely gonna happen? The new house gonna get tore up because you're gonna have to demolish.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, this is kind of wild.
But I am not interested in the science of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we're paying for it.
No, we are paying for it. I do miss the 90s, the early 2000s Titans though. Was it early 2000s Steve McNair, Eddie George?
Javon Curse.
Yeah, that's when I had my jerseys. I was putting on.
We know you got jerseys.
Calm down.
You clearly got jerseys.
Okay,
You having jerseys.
Anyway, so my positive news, I appreciate that. I just wanted to offer also some positive news that UT football team, go Vols, Vol for life.
Okay, first
ranked
of all,
number 4.
let me tell you what we've been on. We ain't moving like that. We ain't moving like that.
You know
what? Also, the Aces play New York Liberty tonight. So I'm going for Asia Wilson, who was the MVP of the WNBA.
It won't be tonight.
Well, they play Thursday. October 3rd.
They play soon.
A month from my birthday. Okay.
Okay, great. I also want to say UT fans are like Dallas Cowboy fans.
No, don't you ever say that.
Right about this time.
No, stop
right about this time.
That's wild. No,
the world is their oyster. They know they gonna win, and then right around February, we gotta start looking for Erica. We gotta start. Are you okay?
Jamel, stop.
My friend, are you doing okay?
I can't believe you
I'm gonna be
that.
honest. The only Tennessee team we really care about is Tennessee State University. We got homecoming coming up.
Big
Okay,
TSU.
yeah, shout out to TSU.
We got homecoming coming up. Shout out to.
But y'all don't go to the game, so you say you
Who
care
don't go
about
to the
the
game?
homecoming.
We be right outside.
No, y'all not inside. I went inside last year.
That's
I
because
didn't see none of y'all.
It's because you didn't go to HBCU. Look, the interesting thing is,
Calm yourself.
the interesting thing is, we enjoy
Yes, sir.
being outside the game.
Yes, sir.
Halftime, we'll pop in.
Yeah.
Pop in during
How do y'all
halftime.
support the football team?
We're at
with
the
our
game.
thoughts and prayers. What we really love to do
At the tailgate.
What? Y'all out of order.
is celebrate them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean we're not there. We
It
got
literally does.
100 tents, fried fish,
Oh,
Y'all
and
do.
and
spaghetti.
spaghetti.
And spaghetti out there.
outside.
Yeah.
All your friends, all your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then most of anybody that's black within a 100-mile radius.
We shut the city down.
It's a family reunion.
It's black folks all day.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to TSU homecoming. I'm finna have my outfit laid down on the bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
You know
real?
what I'm saying? What y'all been on?
For life?
Yeah, what you got coming up in life, man?
Okay. So I just been really working. Been working a lot. I'm getting ready to turn 35, so I got to get my life together.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. My birthday is in a month, so I have a month to get my life together. And, you know, I need to really determine what it means to get my life together as I prepare to turn 35, which I think when I started saying get my life together when I was 18, it really meant like, becoming more disciplined, really being clear about my goals and going for my goals. And now I think getting my life together is actually probably slowing down and really trusting the process and being chill and figuring out like how to balance work and my career and taking care of myself. So I feel like I got and I don't, maybe it's counterintuitive to say slow down and then I have a month to get my life together.
Right. That sounds like you got to
But
speed it
I'm
up a
going to
little
lean
bit.
into that.
Ah.
No, literally, I should slow down.
Okay.
Yeah, I should slow down. We should be slow.
Yeah.
We should go. So, yeah, I'm going to slow down.
Okay, slow down.
Yeah, that's fire. For me, I just been really I've been really just outside in my community a lot. So like I got this really hyper dog named Cujo.
Yes. The
Super
king of the
hyper.
north.
15 pound ball of energy. So I've been really walking him like 2 miles. And so like the spot that I live in, if you go 2 miles, and most folks know this about North Nashville, if you put a dot like right around like Jefferson Street and Buchanan, like if you put a dot somewhere in there, you're gonna either land in 2 mile radius. You can be at TSU, Fisk, Meharry, Metro Center,
Yeah.
65. Like you can be in so many places. So I just really been walking around my neighborhood exploring. Like I've been trying to put in like 5 miles a day.
Oh, that's
Of just
good.
walking though. But I've been getting to know a lot of folks around there. So that's been cool. The other thing I've been on for real is, and this is also in preparation of the mass meeting that we got coming up, is really diving into like trying to understand how our money flows to the federal government, which is I'm just gonna let you know right now, it's very convoluted and confusing.
Okay.
And I think it's like that on purpose, right?
So give me the simplest. What's the simplest way to break it down?
Right. So like local government, and we've talked about this before, like we do work around a budget locally. So the way we kind of explain it is just like locally, the things outside your community, if you don't have them, that's a policy thing. And usually that policy can be tied to a budget allotment.
A line item, yeah.
Right? A line item literally in the budget that come out every year. The confusing things about the feds is we pay taxes to the federal government.
Is that income taxes? How do we?
See, that's you already starting to confuse it already. See,
Let's get the simple version.
we just gonna
It's not
say.
income taxes. It's the other taxes that come out of our check. right?
See, we going too far already. This is what it's.
Look at it,
see,
look at it.
Now when we
Calculate.
start talking about different type of taxes,
Right.
You know how we.
You know, black people be studying their text.
I need to know what money
I'm
comes
gonna
out.
get back.
Look, can I just say something real quick? When
Yeah.
I like my first like full-time job post law school was at Law for Black Lives, and it was a National org. It was remote. but the headquarters are in New York.
Okay.
So my first check took out New York income taxes.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I already knew how much I was supposed to get because I had calculated it. Because black people calculate it.
I'm $12 short.
When I got that, I said, no, it was more than that. I said, what is this? I called them. I said,
Bro, ain't nothing worse than thinking like that first paycheck, you think it's gonna be fat.
Nah.
Bro, they chopped that
They
check up
chopping it,
so
boy.
bad.
And they letting you know they chopped it.
They gave my money back because Tennessee, we don't have income taxes. New York, they got.
So you got a refund in your.
Yeah, I got.
Okay.
No, I got. Right. Yeah, they had to fix that.
I bet you they did.
That's one thing we gonna call about. Fix that.
No, for real. And it's
because
weird.
we be having the money spent before.
No. That's the crazy thing.
This how my budget gonna go.
And the weird thing about it all though is like I kind of, and this was deep wormhole, but I'm gonna go back to Mike's question. Erica just said something that reminded me of this. I landed in this spot where, did you know our federal government cannot tell? They already know how much taxes you owe. They just assume that you're gonna overpay, so they don't tell you. Like the whole reason we file taxes is because they said that we need to file taxes so they can overpay. That's terrible.
So how we overpay in filing them?
So they
Or is it the refund that we get?
right. So if you getting a refund, that means that you've overpaid on taxes all year.
Yeah.
But you're only gonna get the refund that you asked for. So
that's why you got to pay somebody to do your taxes to make sure you get the refund that you actually deserve.
ain't that crazy? And then they cut off the taxes. So you're really not gonna get back the whole thing that you owe anyway.
Well, I will say this: I don't mind paying taxes because collective, but what I do mind is my tax money going to genocide.
Right. So
right. I do mind that.
Yeah.
I mind that. I mind my money.
I mind that quite a bit.
No, for
Not
real.
rocking with that.
No, for real.
That's absolutely wrong.
The prison
I don't mind
industrial
my
complex.
money going towards education
Right.
and social services, but going towards like destruction
Right.
and war and
Right.
genocide, like
Right.
the
And not when
genocide
they
that we're
messing-
funding in
and
Gaza,
also,
absolutely unacceptable.
Let's say education that's for the betterment of our people. Like the education, the way they structuring the system, the way they getting rid of public schools, the way that they altering curriculums to not reflect folks' blackness and their history, like that's crazy to have to pay for public schools to miseducate young people.
No, for
Well,
sure.
I think yes, and I feel like then the call has to be, joining the organization like the Southern Movement Committee.
Every single time.
You better drop the pitch.
Find membership in an organization.
So organize.
Yeah.
So because if it's gonna be like if it's our money and we rightfully should be being like making sure we're contributing to society, then we should be using participatory democracy to really determine what our schools will look like to make sure they aren't privatized, right? And so I want to invite folks into that because we do that at the Southern Movement Committee. We do that with the Youth Assembly. We do that with the Black Nashville Assembly. So the invitation is here.
And one of the great things about the Southern Movement Committee is that we break down difficult concepts,
Right?
Very simple ways.
Right.
So back to my original question.
No, for real.
Cook, Jamel,
Yeah. So the way it works is me. I'm gonna use myself because I pay taxes.
Okay.
I pay taxes. So what I do is, when I pay taxes, it goes to the federal government. The federal government sends it to one or two places. They either send it back to the states, or they create grants and other things to then determine programs to then send back to the states. So that's why it's so confusing, because sometimes they can either fund the state and then the state, it can kind of trickle down, or sometimes they can fund the city, which that's when it starts getting convoluted and confusing. So let's use like an example of destruction, right? Which is most of the time what they are funding, right? So let's say like when we talk about like the 94 crime bill, right? Or the COPS program.
Was it 94 or 92?
It was 94.
94.
Okay.
Where they took
Joe Biden. It was his bill.
Joe Biden.
That was signed by Bill Clinton.
Thank you. So when they created the program, they took the Fed dollars, turned them into grants to incentivize more private prisons or the expansion of prisons. So companies like Core Civic actually ended up making a ton of money in expanding prisons across the state of Tennessee.
And it was, how many prisons was it in Tennessee?
Like
8?
5. It was like 5 created, 8 total, because some were already, and some expanded. So the Supermax Security, Riverdale, Trousdale.
That was created under the after the 1990s.
Yeah, Trousdale. There's a county called Whitesville. I think it's either county, it's Whitesville County or Whitesville City in Tennessee, right? Who built 2 prisons based on that. The Davidson County facility that was here before they remodeled it, that was built for the crime bill. So it's just interesting to see how when we pay our taxes, it can come back in a form of a way to like police and prison us, right? And be used to actually destroy our community while we thinking that it's probably being used to build it up.
Well, and on the flip side, and that's why I think we have to like, continue to be organizing and shifting power, because there's money allocated for education, right? There's money saying like federal money say, hey, here's some dollars for education, and here's some regulations that go along with it. And we saw the state of Tennessee was like really considering being like, we don't want the federal money because we don't want to like abide by the regulations that the federal government it would implement. That we don't want to abide by the regulations that come along with that funding.
Meanwhile, Memphis is in a deficit when it comes to that educational budget. So it's crazy that the state of Tennessee was willing to turn out 64 M's. Yeah. They was willing to turn out 60-something M's just because they didn't want to read certain books or something?
No, it was around I believe it was around gender equity. Yeah. That was one piece of it, and it's one more piece. I think it was something also around it's escaping me. I think it might have been something around like some type of services, like how you have to, it's around equity across the board in many ways. And so I think that was a piece of it. Right. But I just say it to say that there are some ways in which we should see our money being used to service our community, to meet a social need. And sometimes that shows up, right? And then I think there was money allocated towards violence prevention and intervention that cities could apply for. And I think Nashville got some of that money. My hope is that as we build out the Office of Youth Safety, we can see some of that, the programmatic work and the work of the Office of Youth Safety be funded by some federal grants.
No, for sure. And that's always there. But I've been diving into that as to prepare for our mass meeting and the campaigns that we have coming up.
Yeah.
That's dope. And if you didn't know, we had the Varsity Spending Plan campaign. We haven't been able to talk about this.
But what you been up to before we get into that?
I already told you. I got homecoming. I'm getting ready for.
No, for sure, man. Go Big Blue.
Yeah, we popped it off already.
That's in the future, but what was you doing the last quarter?
Oh, what I've been doing? Oh, that's a good point. Oh, we ain't been on the pod. I started a group with my dad called Regeneration.
Oh, nice.
My dad's a visual artist, a musician, played trumpet for a long time, a lot of jazz music in his catalog. Rob Magaha, look him up on Spotify. Help him get his streams up, man. We got to bring him.
Okay, got you. I'll listen.
Streams up. A lot of his stuff came out on vinyl and CD. All right. We got to get my boy streams up. Download it. All right. So the group is called Regeneration. It's inspired by this piece he had. He started doing visual art, later on. Over the past few years, bro's been in the Frist. He's been in DC museums. He's really been going crazy on the visual art side. So we started a group, and that's been a really fun ride. Cause to be able to do something with your family, you know what I'm saying? To be able to create in that way. My mom was overjoyed. My mom in the front row. You know what I'm saying? She don't even listen to rap music. She in the front row. Locked in, so it's been really great. And my family came in town to come to the concert. Yeah. Just the whole vibe was just really, really amazing. And we got some music that's coming soon. We got to get this single together. But yeah, being able to do something with your family is one of the most,
for real.
One of the most impactful things. So Regeneration, we got music coming out soon, and I think it's a special, really special sound. If you've been to the show, thank you for coming. If you ain't,
what you doing?
We're going to do some more shows.
For real.
This year or next year?
Oh, next year.
Okay, yeah, this year.
This is a show with my father. So take a little different planning.
No, for real.
But yeah, man, I think we can go into this new segment. I got a new segment for the pod. New segment for the pod. It's called Been Black, Gonna Be Black.
Okay.
Right? So this is where we're going to bring up something that you love, care about, find interesting from the past, or something that you find interesting or love and care about that points towards the future.
Yeah, let me go first. So I really be finding a lot of hope in our youth assembly, like the young people that we rock with. You know what I'm saying? And our youth assembly is between the ages of 14 and 26, and we're in a new semester, so they just not getting started. The historical piece that's interesting to me is like, whenever this country has had any significant change, it has always been led by that group. Because that group has the energy, they got the creativity, they got the innovation, they got the dedication.
And the humility too, I think.
And the discipline to actually like struggle together, but also go get whatever they trying to struggle to go get. The reason why that's interesting right now is because it's a whole social media trends around YNs.
Shout out to the YNs.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole social media trend around them. But really what the social media trend is talking about is how fearless they are. Yeah. Right? Which is what I'm thinking is happening right now. Is like we're living in a historical moment where things are getting so bad and we kind of stuck. And so what some people are seeing is the potential and the fearless nature of YNs. But if we can mold it and direct it, like actually embrace them, I think they can actually guide us into a future where we're like more whole as a community.
That's fire. And shout out to Deontay Kyle. He got a podcast called Grits and Eggs. He had a whole segment where he hilarious podcast. But he talks about the same thing and just like talking about how those are our people. You know what I'm saying? The big thing, like the Who Are Your People exercise that we get from Ella Baker is like identifying the folks that you are accountable to and responsible for. So I feel like, embracing that generation and like bringing them into organization is really, really crazy. I was having a conversation with one of the YNs that I was at Makeshift last night. I went to Makeshift. I bumped in the AC. Vibe pulled up. It was crazy.
Y'all be outside.
Random
no.
Random night. Random night.
Vibe walked up to me. He's like, "You having a one-on-one right now, ain't you?"
That's how you
I'm talking to him. Come on. He telling me about NBA YoungBoy.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? He breaking down the whole beef.
Yes, sir.
Somehow T Grizzly got in it. I don't know. It's a lot of politics.
Gap, but okay.
It's a lot of politics. Gucci Mane is in it. Future's in it. It's just a whole lot of stuff. A lot of moving parts. I don't want no smoke with nobody.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I want peace and love.
It's not my game.
But he was breaking it down to me, and I was like, the ability for you to understand like street business like this shows what's the word?
Inclination.
They code it figuring out relationships. I tried to say it the smart way. Bro code it figuring out how these relationships work. What these relationships affect. How those groups then move based upon those causes and effects.
It's called power mapping.
How he's situated in that position.
It's called landscape analysis.
Exactly.
Yeah, these are tools that we actually use as organizers.
For real though, and this is real stuff on the line. I'm just like that generation, like they got so much leadership in them. And I think if we invest in it, it's gonna be the best thing we can do.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when I've been out in the community, I have run into like I'm walking my dog one day, and I'm walking through Cheatham Projects because I live close, and I guess for some reason somebody's walking behind me a little too closely. I hear a young dude yell out, "Don't be walking up on people like that." And I turn around and I notice that this guy is real close. But he yelling from his porch. I'm like, I don't know, dude.
He don't know me. He got your back.
But he looking out.
So it's like, I think like people are seeing their potentials. I think we just can't make the mistake and just shove them away. Like Mike was saying, we need to use what they're interested in, really develop their skills to actually
and be able
come back with the goods.
And be able to have enough perspective and a bird's eye view of this is a reflection of skill sets and certain abilities that they have and talents and giftings that they have to deal with things, but they just put into a negative context. If we can put them into a positive, then it can really be a useful tool.
And it'll change the world.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that perspective.
Yes, sir.
Been black, gonna be black.
So how you gonna
history?
Be black?
I think that what I'm thinking about young people now. So one thing I was gonna lift up, I had two thoughts. I've been reading. I be reading like 5 books at one time because whatever. I'd be like, what I want to read today?
You smart.
No, it's not that. So one thing I was reading about is I'm reading this book. I've Got the Light of Freedom. And right now I'm in the chapter where they're talking about SNCC in I believe it's Mississippi and the work they're doing around the voter education project. That was also like is in many ways, some ways funded by, or they got the sign off from like JFK to be like, all right, basically JFK, the administration was like, y'all causing too much trouble with the freedom rides. Y'all doing too much, right? I need y'all to kind of switch gears, focus on voting, right? Focus on voting. Like I need you to go register people to vote. Yeah. But what is so interesting is that the way that white supremacy and white supremacy works is like the idea was that JFK was like, oh yeah, if they focus on registering people to vote, it will quiet the terrorism that black people that are experiencing, that is being displayed across the world. It will quiet that, right? Let's do something a little bit more quiet and subtle. But that wasn't the case. They were registering people to vote and people were still dying, right? They were still experiencing like huge amounts of like white terror, right? And so one, I thought that was very interesting to say like, oh, I need y'all to chill out, right? Because y'all showing what's going on in the U.S. too much. So I'm gonna try to get y'all to focus on that. And even then, like white terrorism was like, actually no, we're still gonna be out here. We're gonna commit huge acts of harm. And at the same time, the other thing that felt really important to name is that folks were like, SNCC was like, well, we're going to experiment with what it looks like to register people to vote, to engage in the quest to build political power. And so that felt like an opportunity. And they were clear that it was an opportunity to organize and base build with our people, right? That we could use that as a tool to invite our people into movement. And so they did that, and at the same time knew that they were risking their lives. Right. And so I'm just thinking about the connection between like the young folks y'all are talking about and like the SNCC organizers who were coming from across the South and parts of other parts of the United States who knew what they was going into. They knew like, yo, we might be killed, right? They was filling jails too. They was like, yo, it may be a chance that we are arrested and put in jail. And so I'm thinking about that potential and how do we like, continue to invest in our people, because they do have the possibility, like they can do that. Right. And the other thing I was thinking about, well, I'll stop there.
Oh, so side note, I think that's a great example of how federal dollars can be used to actually change people's behavior. I think that's a very clean example.
Yeah, that's the thing. Thank you for reminding me. What was interesting though?
Okay, come on.
Thank you. That was like JFK and his brother, Robert F. Kennedy. They was like, go vote education project. Let's do that. But every time these black folks or these organizers in the South was like engaging in that work and they were experiencing some type of harm, and they was like, we need protection. They didn't answer the phone. They didn't answer the phone. So
you got it, bro.
They was like, stop doing that, but we not gonna be as quick to like answer your call when you need some support. So thank you for naming that.
Yeah, I think that's
organizing. Go vote. And that's it.
Yeah. I think that's a great example. The other thing that came up while you was talking, I think we have to do better about holding our historical examples and actually the context that they were organizing in. So I think that's also a great example of that.
It's really, really important. I appreciate the book Black Power, the Politics of Liberation, and the other book I'm reading that really talks about the work of Fannie Lou Hamer, the work of SNCC organizers and Ella Baker in the South, and how they weren't just like, oh, just vote to go vote. You know what I mean? It was like, no, we actually have ideas on what our communities should look like. We see, the voter mobilization, the registration as a tool to invite people into deeper commitment into movement, right? Not to be like, I'm gonna vote and then I'm gonna chill out. No, to be like, there's a commitment a long-term commitment that I must make to movement, and that was the invitation. And now folks are, and the young folks not feeling it. They're like, just go vote, go vote, go vote. And they're like, but what is it connected to? What strategy is it connected to? Right? What policy ideas is it connected to? And so I think that's really important for us to be wrestling with as we, organize young people, organize families.
Yes, sir.
That's fire. Okay, so I have. I wanted to pull up this playlist because I was trying to see when this song came out. But mine was March 16th, 1976, Marvin Gaye's I Want You album comes out.
Going crazy.
Shortly there, that's, let's see, Freedom Rise was what, 68?
No, it was like 60, no, it was like 64, 63. It was early. It was early. Yeah, it was earlier than that.
So about 10 years after.
But you know what was happening? after 68, we see around that time, 68, we see folks start to use Black Power.
Yes,
and
sir.
so,
Yes.
right, that's
Black
happening.
Power
And then there's
Smiths.
like these Black Power conventions, and then Richard Nixon is like, yeah, I'm rocking with Black Power. Black Power is Black businesses.
Yeah.
It's Black capitalism.
That's what we want.
That's what I
We want
trying
Black
to do.
entrepreneurship.
Right.
That's
So
the
we
Black
see it
Power.
being
Right
diluted in
after
some
a
ways.
string of assassinations.
Yeah.
Right, by the way.
Lord.
Yeah.
And North Nashville done been cut off at this time.
Yes.
It's starting to get cut off.
And that's
When is-
happening
when
in
is
Black
the-
communities
when
across
is the
the country.
interstate?
It's completed in 1972, but urban renewal is starting to go into effect now.
Okay.
That's starting to happen.
1976, I Want You album comes out. I bring that up to say the value of Black art in correlation to political movement, to struggle, to organized resistance,
good.
to all of these things is so essential. Because
No, it
that
is.
album, first of all, let's backtrack.
Yeah, come on.
Absent all of that,
Yeah.
I challenge you.
I'm going to listen to
Go
it.
home and listen to the I Want You album front to back.
Okay.
Oh my God.
What's
Yeah.
it about? What's the concept?
It's the best.
That we're being
It may
introduced to.
be,
The Black family.
I'm going to say it might be top 5 best albums ever made.
Really?
Period. Any genre.
It's about the Black family.
I Want You is about Black love.
Ah.
That's my interpretation of it. That legendary album cover with the Black people dancing, that's the I Want You
Oh, okay.
album cover. And I find it so interesting how that is what comes out of this artist during this extremely hot time. But I wanted to look up when did What's Going On come out by Marvin Gaye.
Cause would that be? I'm curious. Would that be around? Would that be? Which war was that?
70, I mean.
Was that Vietnam?
That's Vietnam.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Is
You
that
sure?
Vietnam?
Vietnam.
I don't think
in
so.
Vietnam is early 70s.
Yeah, that's that's because Dr. King was around when Vietnam started.
So what? So there's a war happening in the 70s, and when that what's going on? Cause that sounds like a war.
it's a proxy war. If
What's
it ain't
going
no
on is
real
1971.
Yeah.
Vietnam War ends in 75.
Yeah.
I Want You album comes out in 76.
Yeah, the Vietnam War ended in 1976. That might be interesting because you could probably got black people, right?
Yeah,
black
coming back-
troops coming
Coming back home.
Yeah.
Coming back home to their families, coming back home to
And
their wives, to their... And disrespect.
Exactly.
And
There
crazy
it is.
disrespect. Shout out to Giles from
Right.
behind the camera. with the three. And the disrespect. Don't forget about the disrespect.
Let's be clear.
Super disrespect. Super disrespect.
Them folks done went over there and fought American soldiers. Black soldiers was fighting white American soldiers in Vietnam during the war.
And that wasn't even our war.
Wasn't even our
over
war.
there.
Didn't even want to be over there in the first place.
And Vietnam won.
And now I gotta fight
Exactly.
people that's in the same army I'm in because of racism. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But 1976, Marvin Gaye, I Want You album. Go check it out. Beautiful album.
I love that. I'm gonna listen to that. I know we got I want to talk a bit about the Varsity Spending Plan if we can before we get into the next exercise.
Cold hard transition. Let's go.
No, because I think the Varsity Spending Plan is a labor of love.
There we
Okay,
go.
come on,
Yeah,
connect
that's
it.
better.
Yeah,
She got to warm up a little bit, boy. You got to warm up a
love
little bit. Yeah.
compels us to do things we would otherwise not do.
Yeah, you
That's
go.
good.
Yeah.
Start the car before
Okay,
you put it in
so-
drive.
All right.
Slow down.
You say you in your...
Slow
There you go.
Slow it down. Let's get it.
So yeah, I do think the Varsity Spending Plan was a labor of love, and so we won, right? We won.
Yep.
We fought to get investments into restorative justice practices, into like real solutions to harm and gun violence,
Yes.
and to build out really safe communities and thriving communities. And so was grateful to be able to get $1 million allocated towards building, $750,000 first allocated to building the first in the country Officer Youth Safety as a solution to gun violence, as a vehicle for safety, and as alternative to police and jails in Nashville, and then to pilot a restorative justice program at Napier Community Center, and then lastly to expand community center programming.
So I just want to be clear: a non-police alternative to
Non-police,
police,
non-courts.
and a non-courts alternative to courts.
Yes,
Gotta add that
absolutely.
piece.
Yeah, that was really clear, and that comes from we knew we had to be really sharp about that, so that it would not replicate some of the other things we've seen that don't get to the solution that we're looking for. So this is a preventative measure, right? It's to make sure conflict does not escalate, to make sure people have the resources and the skill they need to engage in generative conflict.
And our youth assemblies members are the ones that really drove that win. You know what I'm saying? So it's really exciting time, and I don't think we're really going to be able to grasp grasp the amount of like momentum and change that those young people have experienced just by getting this type of win.
Yeah.
And what's exciting is that, we started our youth assembly work really in the fall of 2022 with a town hall focused on education and youth justice, right? And then in 2023, we started the youth assembly program with 15 students from the Middle Tennessee area, and then it grew to 20 something, and then
now we right around 40.
And then January 2024, it grew to 40, right?
40
so
January,
multiplying each semester, and I'm just so proud of the young people for being able to articulate a vision for safety, for freedom that's really rooted in care, compassion, rooted in the things that people know they need. And then to be able to say, this is how we're going to organize around it, invite their families into it, and then for the Black Nashville Assembly to join them in that.
So you wore the jersey because of the Varsity Spending Plan.
Is that
Yes,
why?
sir.
Yeah, I need a Varsity Spending Plan
She
jersey.
she an MVP of the Varsity Spending Plan.
Me? The young people are.
Oh, no, that's
But
real.
Now,
young
I
people
know
are.
you got this
22.
jersey on. I want to make a clarifying question. We did not receive $1 million.
Oh, yes, no. We
Okay.
did not get
No,
that.
we did not
The
get
Southern
$1 million.
Movement Committee did not.
The Southern Movement Committee did not.
Repeat after me. The Southern Movement
The
Committee
Southern Movement Committee.
did not
Did not.
receive
receive
$1 million.
$1
$1
million.
million. No, search.
Okay, so the money is from the city budget,
Yep.
and that money is allocated to the Parks Department
Yep,
to
that's-
increase
But
community
$250,000
$250,000 to increase community center programming.
Yes, sir.
And to build $750,000 to build the Office of Youth Safety,
Yep.
which is a metro office,
Yep.
not a Southern Movement Committee office.
Right.
Not a Southern Movement
But
Committee.
we
Metro
are-
Nashville office, and the Southern Movement Committee is a part of building that
Yes.
office and ensuring that that vision and the vision of our young people come to life. So
And-
I just want to be clear. She looked like she getting money.
Yeah.
Do I? Okay,
That's
come
not
on.
the money
Not I'm
that she
thriving.
get.
I'm thriving. Not I'm thriving.
Talk about
Thank
I'm
you.
broke out here. I don't know.
No, I think what's important to name is that we use participatory democracy to be able to engage in a budget fight, to really organize around the Varsity Spending Plan. We use people moving assemblies, town halls to determine, and participatory budgeting to really determine what the demands would be in the Varsity Spending Plan, and then we organized around it. And right now we're in this co-governance process to build out the office with the mayor's office, with elected officials, and with young people and families and communities. And so I'm grateful to say, to make sure that the office reflects the will of the people, and it's community driven. We're having a people moving assembly in October.
Yep, coming up.
October 19th that folks should come to. We're having a town hall November 16th that folks should come to. And to hopefully to hopefully land the office by the end of November. So I'm grateful that we truly committed to a democratic process and implemented that and organized around it. And so, to say that we are taking donations, right? to support that organizing work.
Because we are a 501c3.
Because the community dinners, we feed our people at our community dinners to learn and engage in civic education, right?
Facts.
We have monthly training sessions with young people where we make sure we feed them. They get a stipend. 40 young people get a $700 stipend.
They love to eat too.
Right, to organize, to train, right, to increase their skill and leadership development. And so, since 2023, we've invested over $70,000 into working class families
Spread that money
via
around. Yes, sir.
Direct payments.
Right, direct payments to young people. And so again, this wasn't even something I was gonna say, but it's on my heart.
Talk about it.
I want to invite people to plant a seed, right?
Ice on
Sow a
Erica.
seed.
Let's go.
Sow a seed into the Black Nashville Assembly. Sow a seed into the Southern Movement Committee, right?
Yeah.
Sow a seed into the youth assembly members who are doing righteous and brilliant work.
A tear about to
right?
drop.
That will
Tongues is coming.
transform. I can't speak in the whole
She about to start running, though.
That can transform.
Oh, them AMEs run, boy. You know them AMEs run. I don't even know how she trying to play right now. She getting her shoes ready. You know AMEs, they start doing that
You
friction.
don't be jumping up like your brother in a minute.
They get them friction feet going. When they start getting them friction feet going, boy, they about to take out. They about to strike out, boy.
We'll talk about it later.
Stop. Okay, me and Josh, we were raised African Methodist, so shout out to African Methodism.
Yeah, AME,
and the
man,
young
shout out to
people's
AME.
division of the Women's Missionary Society of African Methodist
here we
Episcopal
go.
Church.
Third
But I just say that
quadrennial.
because I
The
work-
delegate to the third quadrennial.
Third quadrennial.
Been in pantsuits since I was 7 years
Yes,
old.
sir.
You know what it is.
Pop it.
No, but I just mean that we really should invest in our people, and particularly young people, equip them with the tools and the muscle to engage in organizing, to organize, and to really practice democracy.
Yes, sir.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. Wow. I'm gonna let that breathe. Let's get a collective.
Y'all lucky I ain't got no organ. I'm gonna tell you right now. You know how you trigger AME? Well, you get that organ going. Boy.
No, like AMEs were. Some have been conservative in how folks show
AMEs
their
don't have
expression.
organs? Y'all don't play
No,
organs?
now we have organs. It just depends on where you are, right? You know.
I'm just gonna be clear. I'm talking about Southern AME.
Okay.
All right. You can also trigger AME by start talking that black. You trigger.
Now
AME.
that's true.
Yeah.
'Cause I do
Start
think
talking liberation in the
one
pulpit.
of the founders of Pan-Africanism, Bishop Henry McNeil
See,
Turner,
they look.
African Methodist bishop.
Yeah, go on
I
with them down.
And one of the first
Ashe,
black
Queen.
elected officials in the South post-Reconstruction.
Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. See,
All of this
told
has
you.
been some great information.
I told you, bro. Erica know how AME, boy.
Let's chat. I'm gonna switch it up.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. We're gonna get into some misinformation.
Ooh.
We're gonna do it.
It's dangerous.
We're gonna do it.
Dangerous.
We're gonna do it.
Danger.
All right. This is my question. What is a conspiracy theory? A conspiracy theory you have. You cannot prove it. It may not make any sense.
Ooh, I have one.
It might be extremely
I got another one, too.
misinformation. But
Well, this one not.
it's something to it. What you got?
Go ahead.
No, you go first.
No, go Erica first.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
There's something here.
Okay.
Bro, what? All right, I'm gonna start. You want me to start?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'll start. The moon landing was fake.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
The moon landing was fake.
Come on.
Actually, very less political than what
I
I
don't think. Oh wow, you was finna say something crazy.
Well, I'm gonna try.
You should do that though.
I'm gonna try to a couple mine.
The moon landing was fake. They did it in the studio in Hollywood. Okay, because why they never been back to the moon? Why we never seen no people? This one thing we know. If this country goes somewhere that they can colonize, conquer, build on, charge rent for, they gonna do it. Why is no apartment? Why is no tall and skinnies on the moon, bro? Because they ain't been there yet.
What Creflo Dollar said.
Oh.
When they get a spaceship,
He said,
say, yeah, I got a private jet.
right, he said, because
And if it's people on the moon, I'ma pray to God for a spaceship. I said, you know what?
Dollar. You know what I'm saying?
Big dollar. Respect that man. That's big dollar.
yeah, I think my conspiracy theory, one is, I think that for many of the black folks who experience really harsh periods, I feel like it's connected to enslavement. And my thought is that like our bodies were so used to being forced to reproduce like in likely mass that it really disrupted our reproductive organs. And yeah, that's my conspiracy.
So
Dark.
I mean, that's my
so we
conspiracy.
experienced trauma on an epigenetic level.
But no, I think
not-
this is what I think. Because I'm like, dang, I was calculating. I was like, dang, by the time, I was born, my grandma was 39.
Okay.
One of my grandmas was 39. And my grandma's mom had like 14 young people, like 14 kids. So I'm like, dang, maybe my body is like, yo, you should have 14 kids. And it's like just overdoing things. And that's why my period is so bad. Because it's really setting itself up. It's like
So because somebody had 14 kids.
but also before that,
Okay.
and even before that, probably like my great grandparents probably was having a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So that means Wait.
So capitalism traumatizes your folks.
No, I think
No.
probably the way my uterus is set up, or the uterus set up.
Your uterus.
It's probably like you're supposed to have all these kids coming out, and it's not doing that.
I feel
And maybe
you.
that's
So
why
wait,
it's
so
on.
if
I
you
can feel
did
that.
have 14 kids, you think?
It'd probably still be bad because then you gotta have all these babies out your body.
So
You really can't win under capitalism.
Okay, all right.
So
There we
that's
go.
the thing.
There we go. We'll just land it there.
But also,
I tried to touch the line, but-
racialized capitalism is extremely harmful to our bodies.
Okay.
That's my conspiracy. I mean, that's not a conspiracy.
It's
That's
not.
true.
It's not a
But
conspiracy,
that other piece of it
Okay.
maybe is. I just really wish somebody would study it and prove what we know in our bodies to be true.
Thank you, Erica.
You thought it was gonna be a light conspiracy?
Appreciate it.
I got another one.
Okay, yeah.
If I can add one.
Okay.
Yeah, add one.
I think that most of the hills that we ride past in Tennessee are actually like constructed mounds.
What's a mound?
Like it was essentially like our version of a pyramid. So instead of the structure being made out of stone, it's made out of earth. It's just dirt kind of stacked on top of each other into a pyramid form.
Mm-hmm.
The thing of it is that since it's dirt, it can just overgrow with grass. So it's gonna turn into a hill. No one's gonna know that this is a man-constructed thing that people constructed a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Orange Mound,
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
that was constructed.
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
that mound just didn't form.
Okay.
Somebody created that bad boy. And
What do you
those
think is
people-
under it?
So they used to live in them. They would put stuff, they would hide stuff in them. But I just think we don't know because of colonization and
You
capitalism.
seen Dune? Yes. You know how they be they tunnel
Yeah,
underneath
that's-
the
yeah.
sand?
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Some questions we gotta answer.
Come on.
One, early predictions on the presidential election.
So I have a prediction. One, this is because Georgia is hand counting their votes. You might remember this. This is what happened with Bush. They hand counted Florida votes. And so I feel like for like 3 to 4 of the next months, we're going to have 2 people saying they're president because we're just not going to know. So we're going to have.
So they both gonna claim to win.
So we're going to have President Biden. We're going to have maybe a president-elect Kamala. And then we're going to have President Trump. So it's going to be 3 people that's like, I'm the current and next president of the United States of America.
That's wild.
All because we ain't going to really know who Georgia electoral votes go to because they're hand counting their votes.
And you think Georgia might be the state that decides it then?
Yeah. I think one.
one
And
of
then they're also in court in North Carolina to hand count their votes as well. So what's going to happen is we're going to have 3 months of contested votes, Supreme Court rulings, and in that 3 months, I'm telling you right now, as soon as the polls close, somebody gonna come in front of the screen and say, I am the president of the United States. And we gonna know that there's no way you counted all those votes that fast, but they just gonna declare themselves the president.
Yeah.
That's what they did on Secession. Dude just went on TV and announced the win, and they was
Yeah,
like,
that's-
"Wait a minute, the
Yeah.
polls is still open."
Not you.
Like,
No, for real. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be extremely close. And so it could come down to being like a court decision.
a court decision for the
Yeah.
election.
That's like 2 years down the road, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried that it's going to be extremely close. Yeah, that's
And I'm gonna do something that Erica's gonna really appreciate. I think no matter which president wins the election,
Okay.
Well, come on.
there's gonna be a call.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a deep and ancestral call and rise
Yeah.
of our people to organize as families
Yeah.
across this country for the collective good.
Yes, sir.
There's gonna be a responsibility. There will be Harriet shotgun at your back, telling you to liberate your people in the fight for black liberation.
Come on.
No matter who wins, we're
Every
gonna
day,
have to
every
keep
hour.
organizing. That's my
Yeah.
prediction.
Struggle is life.
I
Life is struggle.
agree. I do think, and folks can start answering that call now.
Next question. We got any local elections that
Yep.
people should be thinking about right now?
Yeah, state elections are absolutely like the state reps is on the ballot. You know, folks should definitely vote in those.
Yeah.
We need to get new people
Yep.
into the state house and state senate. That's on the ballot. And then the other thing is transit bill,
Yep.
which folks should really pay attention to. I know our young people have been really clear about wanting to increase access to transportation
Right.
for the sake of access to like jobs and schools and things like that. And so that's something that folks should pay attention to, look into, and be prepared to vote on.
And I think two things that people should know about the transit referendum that folks are really not, I don't know why they're not selling it this way. But two things that folks should know is, one, our transit system is 15 years behind. So there's actual federal money that we cannot get because our transit system is so out of date. And with that being said, this transit plan will be completed in 10 to 15. So we're really voting for a transit system for the future generations of folks living in Nashville, and to have access to more money for more transit. So it's like one of those things that it's like, it has to happen. It doesn't make no sense for it not to.
Yeah. I mean, I think I encourage folks to really look into what's on the ballot to decide how you want to move during this election season, especially folks who live in Tennessee and in Nashville, with transit being in the election this November. And then also folks should vote early. The last day to register to vote is October 7th. So if you haven't, do that. Hit up some friends, encourage them to register. And then we want to make sure folks are invited to our October 19th People Movement Assembly,
yes.
where, ahead of the November election, we'll be really collectively deciding what we need to build safe communities, safe and thriving communities. So invite folks to register for that so that you can be in the room. And then November 16th, we have a town hall that our young people, along with Black Nashville Assembly members, are hosting to really be in conversation with elected officials about the future of the Office of Youth Safety. And so really grateful to be back. Encourage folks to check out our website, sow a seed, make a donation, share the podcast, and go Las Vegas Aces.
And if you have any questions or you got thoughts, ideas, things you're exploring, feel free to email us if you want info@oursmc.org. We'll get to your questions, as many of them as we can, on the next podcast.
I love it. Okay, awesome.
Dope.